There was a time when chess was all about wild attacks and daring sacrifices. People just threw their pieces forward, hoping to crash through their opponent's defenses with brilliance and flair. But then came this quiet, bearded man from Prague. Small in stature, often sick, with a mind like a steel trap. He looked at the board and thought, wait, there has to be a better way. He wasn't out to impress the crowd with flashy moves. He wanted to understand why each move worked. And in doing so, he changed chess forever. Today, let me tell you about Wilhelm Steinitz, the man who taught the world that chess isn't just about beautiful attacks, but about building something solid, one quiet move at a time. Welcome to Chess and Beyond. Today, Wilhelm Steinitz, the quiet revolution of chess. Wilhelm Steinitz was born in 1836 in Prague, back when it was still part of the Austrian Empire. He was the youngest of 13 children in a poor Jewish family. Life wasn't easy for him. As a child, he was small, frail, and often sick. There was no sign he would become a legend one day. He learned chess around the age of 12 from his father. But at first, it was just a game to pass the time. His real focus was trying to survive and study. When he grew up, he moved to Vienna to study mathematics. But money was tight, and he couldn't keep up with university life. So he spent more and more time in the smoky chess cafes of Vienna. The clinking of coffee cups, the scratch of pieces on wooden boards, that became his real classroom. And there, sitting across countless opponents, he realized something. On the board, no one cared how small or sick he was. All that mattered was how deeply he could think. That tiny cafe table with its 64 squares gave him something he never had before, a place where his mind could be free. At first, Steinitz played like everyone else in his time, aggressive, bold, throwing pieces forward for flashy attacks. People even called him the Austrian Morphy, comparing him to Paul Morphy, the brilliant American attacker. But as he played more and more, something started to bother him. Sure, those attacks looked beautiful, but why did they work? And why did they fail against solid defense? He began thinking deeper about each position. He realized that winning wasn't just about sacrificing pieces for dramatic checkmates. It was about building up small advantages, one move at a time, until your opponent couldn't breathe anymore. Imagine that. Everyone else was playing for fireworks, and Steinitz was quietly laying bricks, building a fortress. People thought his new style was boring at first. They didn't understand why he didn't just go for the throat immediately. But Steinitz didn't care. He was seeing chess in a completely new way. For him, every pawn move, every tiny adjustment in position was like setting up the pieces of a puzzle. And when the final move came, it wasn't luck or madness, it was inevitable. His big moment came in 1886, when he faced Johannes Zukertort in what is now considered the first official World Chess Championship. Zukertort was flashy, confident, and popular. He was the kind of player who dazzled the crowd with risky attacks. Steinitz, on the other hand, showed up with his quiet confidence and his new, almost scientific approach to the game. The match was intense. At first, Zukertort took the lead, winning 4 of the first 5 games. People thought Steinitz was finished. But then, like a patient builder, he started turning the tide. Move by move, game by game, he broke Zukertort's defenses down. In the end, Steinitz won convincingly. The world finally saw that his way of playing, slow, careful, logical, wasn't boring at all. It was powerful, unstoppable. That match didn't just make Steinitz the first official world champion. It marked the birth of modern chess. From that point on, chess wasn't just an art of attack. It became a science of strategy. After becoming world champion, Steinitz kept playing and teaching his ideas about positional play. But not everyone liked his approach, and many called his style dull or even cowardly because it didn't have the flashy sacrifices people loved to watch. He didn't mind the criticism. For him, it was simple. If you built a strong position, attacks would come naturally. If you attacked without preparation, it was just hope. And hope wasn't enough on the chessboard. He once said, "The beauty of a game is not in its attacks, but in the logic that builds them." His teachings started to spread. Younger players began studying his games to understand how he turned small positional edges into wins. Even the greatest champions after him, like Lasker and Capablanca, built their styles on Steinitz's foundations. But despite his success, Steinitz's life wasn't easy. He was never a wealthy man, and many times his mental health suffered. Later in life, people even said he believed he could play chess against God and win with pawn odds. Whether that was true or just gossip, it shows how the world saw him, a genius walking the fine line between brilliance and madness. In 1894, after holding the title for 8 years, Steinitz lost his championship to Emanuel Lasker. It was a tough defeat. Lasker was young, strong, and had learned well from Steinitz's ideas. After that loss, Steinitz's life went downhill. His health got worse, and he struggled with money. He spent his final years in New York, often alone, and died in poverty in 1900. But here's the thing. While his last years were sad, his impact never faded. Today, every grandmaster uses ideas that Steinitz developed. His concept of positional play is taught to every serious chess student. His belief that the king is a fighting piece changed how endgames are played forever. In a way, Steinitz didn't just teach us how to play chess better. He showed us that in life, like on the board, it's not always about flashy moves or quick wins. It's about building something solid, step by step, patiently, until success becomes inevitable. So next time you sit down at a chessboard or face a challenge in life, remember Steinitz. Remember the man who showed us that real strength isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, logical, unbreakable. Before we go, I have a question for you. Do you have a favorite Steinitz match or moment? Maybe one of his positional masterpieces, or even an unexpected attacking game from his early days? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to know which of his games inspires you the most. And if you enjoyed this story about the father of modern chess, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next journey into the lives and lessons of chess legends. Thanks for watching, and remember, in chess, as in life, every quiet move counts.